you all so very much for your presence and for being here for our Virginia Legislative Black Caucus press conference. Our theme for today is standing on business, delivering affordable, safe, and secure an agenda for all Virginians. Today we will report on the legislative victories that our members have delivered during this session before we adjourn on Saturday. But first I want to take a moment and introduce our officers who are with us today. Delighted to have our Vice Chair, Senator Angela Williams-Graves. I know that our Treasurer, Delegate Justin LaVere Boland is on her way, and she will be here momentarily with us. We have our Secretary with us, Senator Mike Jones, and our Chaplain. Is a chaplain with us? Yeah. She's on her way as well. That's Delegate Medina Anthony. And I who I am. I'm Luke Torian. I have the honor of chairing the Virginia Legislative Black Caucus. And so thank you so much. We're delighted also to have leadership with us. We have our majority leader with us. It's early. It's session break. It's session break. My seatmate Charnel Harris is with us, and then we have other members. You all, please just take a moment and introduce yourselves. Okay, let's do it. Start over here on my right.
Virgil Thornton, representing the 86th House down in Hampton Roads. That's Hampton, York, and Pocosi.
Delegate Nicole Cole, representing House District 66, which is Spotsylvania and Caroline County. I didn't introduce, so
Me too, but I represent Senate District 21, which is 93% of the city of Norfolk.
I'm Delegate Cedar Price. I represent the 85th District, and that's parts of Newport News.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Maldonado, delegate for Virginia's 20th House District, which includes the cities of Manassas Park, and portions of the western end of Pennsylvania.
Good morning, I'm Delegate Dolores McClellan, representing the 81st District, which is Charles City, Eastern Henrico, and Northern Chesterfield.
Good morning, I'm Delegate Adele McClure. I represent parts of Arlington County.
Good morning, the Darius Clark, delegate representing the 84th District, parts of Suffolk, Chesapeake, Franklin, and Alawite County.
Good morning, I'm Delegate Deborah Gardner. I represent the 76th District, which is parts of Chesterfield County.
My name is Delegate Juwan Ward. I represent the 87th House District, which is in the city of Hampton.
Delegate Michael Fagans, representing House District 97, middle portions of Virginia Beach.
Delegate Destiny LaVere Boland, representing House District 80, portions of Eastern and Western Henrico counties.
Michael Jones, represent Senate District 15, which is parts of Richmond City and Chesterfield County.
Good morning, Alex Askew, delegate for 95th District, parts of Virginia Beach and Norfolk.
LaSharis Ayers, Senate District 13, Sussex, Surrey, Dinwiddie, Prince George, Hopewell, Petersburg, and
Lamont David, Richmond Henrico.
Good, thank you. As a caucus, we've had a lot to celebrate, but even more work to do. During this session, the VLBC members have advanced affordability agenda that Virginians mandated in November. We have legislative accomplishments in many policy categories. Today, you will hear from members highlighting 4 critical policy areas of healthcare, housing, safe communities, and civil rights. And at this time, I will turn it over to Delegate Michelle Maldonado.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning and welcome, everyone. We have been hard at work, as you can see, and if you've been tracking. As part of the Virginia Legislative Black Caucus's commitment to delivering an agenda that's affordable, safe, and secure for all of Virginians, we worked this session to expand not only access to health care, but also to strengthen protections for patients and families across the Commonwealth. Legislation like HB 328 by our delegate Sullivan broadens coverage for critical care. It includes fertility, treatments, hearing aids, donor breast milk, and treatments for conditions like polycystic ovary syndrome. And the reason this is important is because this was work that was done by members of the Black Caucus and other delegates to help expand the benchmark of benefits through our Health Insurance Reform Commission. Supplementing that, because it didn't cover everything, we also brought in through Senator Carol Foy's work on SB 362 that further strengthened access to donor breast milk for families in need. The HB 322 broadens coverage for critical care like fertility treatments, hearing aids, donor breast milk, and treatments for conditions, as I said, like POS. We also work to improve healthcare outcomes across our communities by expanding maternal mental health screenings through HB 1400, by Delegate Margaret Franklin, supporting high-risk pregnancies through HB 425, patroned by Delegate Amir Bowling, strengthening education and screenings for sickle cell anemia through HB 392 and 1446, patroned by Delegates Askew and Sewell, respectively. And you may remember we had the huge omnibus bill, and these are some remaining bills that also bring the efforts and the benefits there, as well as wrapping up our supports for sickle cell anemia. And finally, improving newborn screening through HB 433, also by Delegate Destiny Levere. At the same time, we work to make our healthcare system more transparent and patient-centered, strengthening prior authorization protections through HB 736, and improving transparency and appeal rights when coverage is denied and benefits are delayed through HB 701, both patroned by myself. And finally, ensuring patients have clearer access to their medical information through HB 973, which is a CARES Act, patroned by Delegate Marcia Price, HB 973. All of this is to say that when Virginians have access to the care they need, the benefits they need, the health care they need, our communities are healthier, they're stronger, and our Commonwealth moves in a way that is more affordable, safer, and more secure for all. Thank you, and next I would like to invite Delegate Adele McClure to speak on our housing efforts.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Delegate Adele McClure. I represent Arlington's 2nd House District. In this legislative session, members of the VLBC made tremendous progress on a number of housing initiatives. Together, we passed legislation addressing tenant protections, housing affordability, eviction prevention, absentee landlords, and strategies to increase housing supply across the Commonwealth. Housing has always been central to the VLBC agenda because housing is more than just a roof over someone's head. It is the foundation for stability and dignity in a person's life. All of us know firsthand that when a family has stable housing, children can focus on school, parents can keep their jobs, and families can access childcare, healthcare, and opportunity. But when housing becomes unstable, everything else in a family's life begins to unravel, and it can happen to anyone. That is why my VLBC colleagues have worked tirelessly this session on behalf of all Virginians to champion bold legislation that expands access to safe, healthy, and affordable housing. That includes HB 174, carried by Delegate Fegans, which strengthens protections for military families under the Virginia Residential Landlord and Tenant Act. That also includes Delegate Maldonado's HB 8678, which requires landlords to provide earlier notice of rent increases so that tenants have more time to prepare. Delegate Price's HB 15, Senator Rouse's SB 48, and HB 834 gives tenants additional time to find resources to make alternative arrangements before termination proceedings can begin. Senator Williams-Graves carried SB 181 and Delegate Cole carried HB 1279 to increase supply at a time when demand is high. Delegate Carlson's 281 is actually a really big deal because it will finally allow judges to consider evidence of a landlord's failure to keep a home safe and livable as a defense to eviction, a measure that has been carried for a number of years. Delegate Price has long carried HB 14 alongside Senator Aird's SB 290, which strengthens local enforcement by allowing localities to take action against negligent landlords when tenants are living in unsafe and uninhabitable conditions, something we have all seen in our districts. I was proud to carry HB 329, which expands protections against landlord retaliation and strengthens tenants' rights when they report unsafe conditions. Additionally, Senator Locke's SB 628 and my bill 527 establishes the eviction reduction program to better identify the causes of eviction and support interventions that keep family in their homes. Both budgets provide over $10 million in additional dollars to fund this critical program for families. Senator Locke and I also carried SBs 273 and HB 837, which expands eligibility to allow more Virginians to participate in a highly successful eviction diversion court program that Senator Locke and I made permanent last year, a testament to the fact that we continue to build on all the progress to make Virginia more affordable. Together, these robust measures, which I cannot name all, we've only given you a preview, make housing safer, more affordable, and more accessible while strengthening crucial protections for tenants and families across Virginia. So next up is my pleasure to bring up Delegate Deborah Gardner to talk more about childcare.
Thank you. Good morning. We know that our workforce cannot be strong if our parents can't go to work and feel confident that they can find childcare that's affordable, accessible for their children. To that end, we know that housing challenges are closely connected to other affordability pressures, including childcare. That's why I carried HB 211, which expands access to universal, evidence-based Head Start programs and pre-Head Start programs. It's important to measure and expand affordability and high-quality childcare. And Delegate Brianna Sewell carried HB 1208 to create a standardized, transparent method to estimate the true annual funding needed for Virginia's early childhood care and education system. And that's why Delegate McClure also carried HB 18 alongside Senator Ayers SB 3, which establishes the Employee Child Care Assistance Program. This initiative incentivizes employers to help cover child care costs for their employees, providing relief to working families while supporting workforce participation. Both the House and the Senate budgets include $25 million to fund this program. Taken together, the legislation advanced this session reflects the VLBC's commitment to tackling housing affordability and child care from every angle, strengthening tenant protections, increasing supply, and building a more stable community. Thank you again for joining us. And next we will have Delegate Clark.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm proud to stand here with my colleagues of the Virginia Legislative Black Caucus as we stand on business to deliver a more affordable, safe, and secure Commonwealth for all Virginians. This year, we have worked to make Virginia safer for everyone with bills like HB 19, introduced by Delegate McClure, that closes the intimate partner loophole around domestic violence and gun violence. SB 27, introduced by Senator Carol Foy, which allows civil action against negligent firearm manufacturers and dealers. SB 727, a bill prohibiting the carry of assault firearms in the public areas, introduced by Senator Jones. HB 702, introduced by Delegate Cole, which will allow localities, law enforcement agencies to develop policies and procedures to implement either a firearm give back program or a firearm buyback program. SB 173, introduced by Senator Williams Graves, banning firearms and other weapons from our hospitals and mental health facilities. SB 182, a bill requiring a short-term rental operation to complete training to recognize and report the potential of human trafficking. We have done work around environmental justice strategies when localities are developing their comprehensive plans to ensure communities are safe from environmental hazards with SB 424 introduced by Senator Baxter. These bills highlight the work that we have done to ensure a safer community for all Virginians, and we will continue to stand on business to deliver real results for all corners of Virginia. Next, I have the honor and the pleasure to introduce someone that is always 10 toes down for the Commonwealth, and that is the great Delegate Cia Price.
Kathy Tran, shout out to her bill about perimenopause. Members of the VLBC are not a monolith. We have differing perspectives, but for generations we have remained united in protecting our freedoms and democracy. Because of the historic nature of the games, tricks, and shenanigans targeted at the communities we serve, fighting for our civil rights has become part of our DNA. And that includes fighting for our right to exist free from fear, our right to vote, and our right to fight back when people come for us. With this in mind, we passed bills that were long overdue. For instance, we supported Delegate Askew's House Bill 167, which removes the tax exempt status for Confederacy promoting organizations. When we are looking for every way we can to increase revenues because of the terrible budget impacts from the MAGA budget bill, we do not have extra tax dollars to give to organizations that promote the lost cause or try to re-energize the hate and division from the past and our present communities. These organizations do have a right to exist, but they do not deserve or need a handout from taxpayer dollars. And we're not just talking about taking things away, we are giving too. And we support bills that give time, space, and reverence to historical figures who work to create a more just Commonwealth. To that end, we supported House Joint Resolution 18 and Senate Joint Resolution 12 with Delegate McQuinn and Senator Locke that authorizes the commissioning of a portrait of the Honorable Yvonne Bond Miller to be hung in the Capitol. She was a true trailblazer in 1984. She was the first Black woman to serve in the House of Delegates. She went on to become the first Black woman in the Senate of Virginia and the first woman to serve as chair of a Senate committee. She worked to open the door for others to follow, and in my lifetime, we have gone from her as the first to 35 Black women having served, including 23 currently serving. Also, as part of righting past wrongs, we have reversed obstacles to voting imposed on marginalized communities so we can have truly fair and free elections. Our work on voting rights and ballot access has led to historic election turnout and to our ranking among the top 15 states of ease of voting. Senator Rouse and I, as chairs of the Privileges and Elections Committees, are proud of the many bills that passed to strengthen our election systems. We know that trust in our voting system rests on ensuring that only eligible voters vote and that all eligible voters are not prevented from exercising their right. House Bill 972, the Virginia Voter List Maintenance Omnibus, will prevent eligible voters from being purged as occurred under the previous administration. Gone is the day of kicking folks off the voter rolls with no records or accountability. This bill ensures that a record is created for any voter whose registration is canceled so errors can be tracked and fixed easily. It raises the confidence needed in the data used to cancel any voter's registration, and it requires notice before any voter registration is canceled to give them an opportunity to provide proof should they indeed be eligible. We have also continued our work to protect access to the ballot since trust in our system also rests on all eligible voters having the opportunity to cast their ballots. Senate Bill 438 from Senator Bagby will move the Commonwealth from a patchwork of permissible Sunday voting to Commonwealth-wide Sunday voting on the second and third Sundays, immediately preceding all elections. Ensuring that all voters have the chance to vote is key to increasing our voter turnout and ensuring the government is actually representative of those who live, work, and play in our Commonwealth. And lastly, remembering that our democracy is only 61 years old, we must do all we can to fight back when it's under attack. Our current reality sounds like it's straight out of an early 1900s horror story. Fascism, unconstitutional power grabs, wars, lynchings, erasure of Black wealth, and legalized discrimination running rampant. We have gone backwards in so many ways, and I know people feel helpless and don't know what to do. But because of the work of the Virginia Legislative Black Caucus and our allies, there is something you can do. You can vote between now and April 21st to fight back. Yes, what other states do impacts Virginia. Yes, the federal administration is hell-bent on erasing racial progress. Yes, policies are being implemented that do real harm to Black, brown, and marginalized communities. Yes, they want to make sure it is nearly impossible for the masses to vote with the SAVE Act. Yes, there is an active cover-up of evidence that implicates the president in heinous acts. Yes, a former member of the General Assembly is trying to pimp our pain and our struggle to gain favor from a party that can't stand him. Yes, we have a chance to change Congress to actually do its job. That's why we need everyone to vote yes by April 21st so we can turn this thing around. Don't listen to the noise or be fooled by the tricks. Stay focused on our freedoms and our future. Voting yes will give us a real opportunity to level the playing field and protect our communities from further harm. Vote yes. Thank you, and I'll now turn it over to Ty Davenport, our Executive Director.